It was a crisp autumn evening in early October 2018 when the peaceful cul-de-sac of Willow Creek Drive, nestled on the outskirts of Portland, Maine, became the unlikely stage for a tragedy no one saw coming. Tidy lawns stretched beneath maple trees aflame with red and gold, children's bicycles lay abandoned on front porches, and porch lights glowed softly against gathering dusk. In the cozy, two-story colonial at 42 Willow Creek Drive lived Emma Carter, 28, a graphic designer with a warm, easy laugh, and her husband, David Carter, 31, a rising IT consultant known among friends for his meticulousness and quiet intensity. Neighbors recalled Emma as ever smiling, toting her Maltese, Daisy, on morning walks, while David kept to himself, often retreating to his home office after 6 p.m. dinners. Their union had seemed enviable, childhood sweethearts who married at 24, bought their first home together in 2016, and shared dreams of traveling Europe. But behind the veneer of harmony, cracks were spreading. On Sunday, October 7th, as the sun dipped below the red roofs of neighboring houses, a muffled argument erupted inside 42 Willow Creek Drive. Though the voices were low, neighbors Jessica Thompson and her teenage son heard Emma's voice break, "Why can't you just trust me?" Followed by a thud. Yet when they peered through the blinds, the lights were off. Within hours, life as they knew it would upend forever. If you're new here and fascinated by the dark twists of domestic crime, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to stay with us as we unravel this haunting story. In the weeks preceding the fatal night, friends noticed Emma's texts growing terse. She confided to college roommate Laura Reed that David's obsessive need to know her every move had intensified. He insisted on tracking her location via smartphone, questioned her about coffee runs with co-workers, and often demanded she cancel plans if he worked late. "I never thought love could feel like a cage," Emma wrote in a private journal unearthed during the investigation. Meanwhile, David's family offered their own concerns. His younger sister, Megan Carter, told detectives that over Thanksgiving 2017, David had erupted in rage when Emma laughed too loudly at Megan's jokes. He glared at her, Megan later testified, "like I'd committed a crime." Their mother, Carol Carter, described a man under crushing pressure at work who channeled frustrations into controlling Emma's life. When Emma stopped posting on social media, a stark departure from her usual Instagram stories, friends urged her to seek help. A nearby women's center reached out, but Emma, ever private, declined their assistance. On October 7, 2018, the couple hosted a book club meeting for 4 close friends. The gathering began amicably, white wine, charcuterie on the coffee table, laughter swirling in the warm living room. Yet beneath the convivial veneer, Emma and David's tension simmered. As guests left around 9 p.m., they noted David's steely gaze on Emma's departing back. That was the last time Emma was seen alive. If you found this breakdown compelling, tap that like button now. Your support helps us dive even deeper into cases like this. At 6:12 a.m. the following morning, neighbor Jessica Thompson heard a single, piercing scream echo from 42 Willow Creek Drive. She dialed 911, frantic. When officers arrived at 6:20 a.m., they discovered David Carter kneeling on the foyer floor, Daisy whimpering at his side. Blood spatter marked the white walls. Emma lay motionless on the living room rug, her auburn hair fanned beneath her. David claimed he'd awakened to find Emma unconscious after an accidental fall down the stairs. But the scene told a different story. Blunt force trauma to the back of Emma's skull inconsistent with a domestic tumble, defensive wounds on her arms, and a kitchen knife missing from its block. Detectives Frank Ramirez and Leah Nguyen cordoned off the house. They noted blood pattern analysis, cast-off spatter on ceiling and walls indicated multiple swings of a heavy object. Missing knife. The blade, a 6-inch chef's knife, was nowhere to be found. Disturbed entry. Emma's car keys were still in the ignition of the attached garage, doors locked from the inside. Digital footprint. David's phone pings showed he stayed on site all night, Emma's last ping at 2:47 a.m. near the kitchen. By 8 a.m., David was escorted to the precinct for questioning. His composure, tearful yet calm, raised eyebrows among investigators. For more exclusive behind-the-scenes details on investigations like this, don't forget to subscribe and share. Your engagement keeps these stories alive. David Carter insisted on his innocence. He recounted, "We argued about work stress. I stepped out to get some air on the porch. I don't know what happened next. I found her like that. When pressed about the missing knife, he claimed ignorance. A search of his office yielded a pack of work documents but no weapon. Dr. Simone Brooks, the state medical examiner, delivered her autopsy report. Cause of death: multiple blunt force impacts to the left temporal bone and occiput. Time of death: estimated between midnight and 2 a.m. No drugs or alcohol in Emma's system. Trace evidence: fibers on Emma's fingernails matched the upholstery of the living room sofa, suggesting a struggle. Fingerprint analysts recovered prints on a wine glass from the night before, David's and Emma's, as expected, but also a partial print on the kitchen counter, unmatched in the database. Detective Nguyen discovered surveillance footage from a nearby 7-Eleven, timestamped 1:05 a.m., showing David pulling into the parking lot alone. He remained behind the tinted windows for 2 minutes, then returned home empty-handed. This contradicted his claim of stepping out for just a breath of air. Friends and family were interviewed. Laura Reed, college roommate Emma, texted her at 11:48 p.m. saying David was scary tonight, and she'd sleep on the couch. The deposited IP address placed Emma's phone in the bedroom, not the living room couch. Megan Carter, sister, confirmed David's temper flared whenever Emma talked to male friends. She hinted at seeing bruises on Emma's upper arm during a holiday visit. Co-worker Ethan Shaw: Emma abruptly ended lunch plans on October 6, claiming David barged into the cafe upset. Ethan saw David's rage was white-hot. While executing a search warrant, police found Emma's laptop logged in. On the desktop lay an encrypted folder labeled Confidences. Upon decryption, detectives discovered Emma's secret journal chronicling months of intimidation, GPS tracking apps controlled by David, isolated phone calls, threats if she dared leave the marriage. The final entry, time-stamped October 7 at 11:52 p.m., read: "I'm terrified. He's not the man I married." Despite mounting evidence, key questions lingered. 1. The missing knife. The kitchen knife used in the murder was never recovered. Did David dispose of it? If so, where? Some theorized the lake near Willow Creek was used as a dumping ground, yet no blade was found. 2. The strange print. The partial fingerprint on the kitchen counter didn't match David or Emma. Could an unknown accomplice have been present? A concealed affair? Or a break-in staged by David? 3. Surveillance gaps. The Thompson residence cameras captured no one entering or leaving the Carter home. Did David shut off power breakers? Forensic electricians noted tampered wiring, possibly intentional blackout of certain cameras. 4. Emma's final movements. GPS pings showed Emma's phone near the dining room before ceasing. Yet friends argued she never entered the kitchen alone, implying a struggle began elsewhere. 5. David's behavior post-arrest. David hired a high-profile defense attorney, Michael Heller, who pursued aggressive motions. David seemed stoic, even confident, a fact some jurors later cited as chilling, not remorseful. Throughout pretrial coverage, two conflicting theories surfaced. Theory A: premeditated homicide driven by jealous rage. David discovered Emma's secret journal and planned her elimination. Theory B: a lover's triangle. The unidentified fingerprint belonged to a secret affair partner who confronted Emma, escalating to violence. David arrived moments later and staged the scene. Both camps produced experts, courtroom dramatics fueled 24/7 cable pundits and true crime podcasters, escalating public fascination and dividing online forums. If you love dissecting conflicting theories in true crime, drop a comment below. What's your take on Theory A versus Theory B? The prosecution's case. 1. In July 2019, the state charged David Carter with first-degree murder. Prosecutors presented Emma's journal as a roadmap of David's coercive control. 2. Forensic expert testimony on blood spatter disproving accidental fall. 3. Surveillance footage contradicting David's timeline. 4. Witness accounts of Emma's terror and bruising. Their closing argument painted David as a jealous tyrant who could not tolerate Emma's independence and planned her death down to the last second. The defense's strategy. 1. Michael Heller contended reasonable doubt. Argued inconsistencies in crime scene processing, neighbors claimed lights flickered. 2. Suggested contaminated evidence. The partial print proved a third party's involvement. 3. Proposed that, after a heated argument, Emma slipped, hit her head, and David panicked, thus accidental manslaughter, not murder. Zeroed in on the missing knife, implying David couldn't have hidden it so cleanly if he were guilty. Verdict and sentence. After a 3-week trial, the jury deliberated for 14 hours. On August 2, 2019, they returned. Guilty of second-degree murder, 11-1 vote. Not guilty of first-degree premeditation. Judge Mariana Connell sentenced David Carter to 30 years to life, clarifying the evidence demonstrated intent, even if premeditation couldn't be firmly established. Aftermath and lingering mysteries. 1. The knife, never recovered. Authorities continue periodic dives in nearby lakes, but the blade remains missing. 2. The print, the unidentified fingerprint remains in the state database. Cold case units still cross-check new entries. 3. Public opinion, online communities remain split. True crime book deals and a Lifetime documentary were produced. Some viewers laud justice served, while others suspect a deeper conspiracy. 4. Family fallout, Carol Carter disowned her son. Emma's parents established the Emma Carter Foundation to support victims of coercive control. If you found this exploration compelling, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with fellow true crime enthusiasts. Your interaction helps us bring more stories just like this to light. When love crosses the line into obsession, the consequences can be deadly. Emma Carter's life was extinguished not in a random act of violence, but in the home where she once felt safe. Though David Carter received his sentence, unanswered questions, and that missing knife, haunt the echoes of this domestic drama. Today, Willow Creek Drive appears as serene as ever, maple leaves drifting to lawns as if nothing ever happened. But for those who know the truth, the scent of betrayal still lingers in the autumn air. What's your theory? Did David Carter act alone in a fit of jealous rage, or was there a hidden player shaping this tragedy? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more in-depth true crime investigations, because every case deserves to be heard.